Welcome to Film Pulse Movies. Today, we'll dive into the story of this movie and also take a look at the cast and crew who worked on it. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you never miss an update. Now, let's get into the video. What happens when a tough action hero teams up with a smooth talker in the craziest political mission of all time? Heads of State is not just another action comedy. It's a wild ride filled with chaos, humor, and explosive twists that will keep you laughing while the bullets fly. The movie begins with chaos in Washington, D.C., where global tensions are rising and America needs strong leadership more than ever. That's when two completely opposite men are thrown together. Marshall, played by Idris Elba, a no-nonsense soldier who believes in discipline, and Jackson, played by Cena, a loud, unpredictable troublemaker who never follows the rules. Both men are forced to work together on a secret government mission that could decide the future of the nation. The twist. Their mission drags them into a political battlefield, where instead of just fighting enemies, they also have to deal with speeches, campaigns, and public appearances. Imagine action-packed car chases right after press conferences. It's pure madness. As they travel from high-security government buildings to international hotspots, their clashing personalities cause nonstop comedy. Jackson keeps making reckless choices, while Marshall tries to keep everything under control. But when a powerful enemy threatens to start global war, the two realize that despite their differences, they're the only hope to save the country. In the end, Heads of State delivers a mix of explosive action, laugh-out-loud comedy, and an unexpected message about teamwork and leadership. It's not just about politics, it's about survival, loyalty, and the most unlikely what happens when two complete opposites, one a disciplined soldier, the other a reckless troublemaker, are thrown into the political spotlight? Heads of State is an action comedy roller coaster where power, politics, and pure chaos collide. The film kicks off with America in crisis. A major international threat is rising, and the government scrambles to protect the nation. That's when fate throws together two unlikely men. Marshall, Idris Elba, a decorated military veteran known for his calm under pressure, and Jackson, Cena, a wild and unpredictable guy who never thinks before he acts. At first, neither of them wants to work together. Marshall believes in strict rules, strategy, and planning every step, while Jackson believes in diving headfirst into danger, no matter the risk. Their personalities clash instantly, leading to hilarious arguments, awkward moments, and plenty of action-packed chaos. But the mission quickly takes an unexpected turn. Instead of just fighting enemies in the shadows, they are pushed into the political spotlight. Suddenly, these two have to attend high-profile meetings, give public speeches, and act like leaders on the world stage, all while dodging bullets and explosions behind the scenes. Imagine a press conference turning into a shootout, or a diplomatic dinner turning into a high-speed chase. As they travel through Washington, Europe, and beyond, the stakes keep getting higher. Enemies close in from every angle. If you're enjoying our videos, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and make sure to like and share as well. Now, let's continue with the video. Betrayal lurks within the system, and the threat of global war grows stronger. Despite their differences, Marshall and Jackson slowly begin to trust each other, combining brains and brawn in the most unexpected way. The final showdown is explosive. With the entire world watching, these two unlikely leaders must put aside their egos and fight together, not just to win the battle, but to save the future of their nation. Heads of State ends with a powerful mix of action, comedy, and heart. It proves that sometimes the best leaders aren't the ones we expect. They're the ones crazy enough to step up when no one else will point. Two men. Two opposite worlds. One mission that could change the future of America. Heads of State isn't just about politics, it's about explosions, betrayal, and an unexpected brotherhood. So grab your seat, because this ride is filled with danger, laughter, and non-stop action. The story begins with the United States facing its biggest threat in years. Political scandals are shaking the White House, enemies from the outside are preparing for war, and trust in leadership is falling apart. The nation needs stability, but instead, it gets chaos. Enter Marshall, Idris Elba, a calm, disciplined, and highly trained soldier who has spent his entire life following rules. He's serious, focused, and always prepared. On the other side is Jackson, Cena, a reckless, big-mouthed man who lives for thrills, breaks every rule in the book, and somehow always survives. The government, desperate for strong figures, unexpectedly throws these two together. But here's the twist. They're not just asked to fight in the shadows, they're pushed into the political spotlight. Suddenly, Marshall and Jackson have to act like leaders, make speeches, shake hands, and pretend to be the face of stability. But while the cameras are rolling, danger is waiting just behind the scenes. From Washington, D.C. to international hotspots, their journey is full of wild events. Serious meetings turning into fistfights, campaign rallies exploding into car chases, and political dinners ending with shootouts. Every moment is unpredictable. Jackson makes things worse with his reckless decisions, while Marshall tries to hold everything together. Their constant banter and clashing personalities bring nonstop comedy. But things take a dark turn. A powerful enemy, hiding within the political system itself, is secretly planning to ignite a global war. Marshall and Jackson realize they're not just puppets in a political show, they're the last line of defense. Betrayals come to light, allies turn into enemies, and their mission becomes more dangerous than ever. In the final act, the stakes couldn't be higher. With the world on the brink of destruction, these two men must work together like never before. Marshall's discipline and Jackson's unpredictability finally combine into the perfect weapon. What started as a mission of chaos ends with the two standing side by side, unexpected heroes who prove that leadership isn't about politics, but about courage, sacrifice, and trust. If you're enjoying our videos, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and make sure to like and share as well. Now, let's continue with the video. What happens when a strict soldier and a reckless troublemaker are forced to save a nation on the edge of collapse? Heads of State is a political action comedy packed with explosions, betrayal, and hilarious chaos. Let's dive into the full story. The film begins with America in crisis. Political corruption has shaken the government, international enemies are plotting attacks, and the country desperately needs strong leadership. In the middle of this mess, two men are chosen for a top-secret mission, though they couldn't be more different. First, we meet Marshall, Idris Elba, a decorated military veteran, disciplined, serious, and respected by everyone. He believes in law, order, and carefully planned missions. Then comes Jackson, Cena, a reckless, loud, and unpredictable man who always causes trouble but somehow survives through luck and confidence. The government, desperate for solutions, throws these two into the same mission. The catch: instead of only working in the shadows, they're pushed into the political spotlight. They have to attend press conferences, meet world leaders, and even act like potential candidates who can inspire the people, while secretly fighting enemies behind the scenes. At first, they hate each other. Marshall thinks Jackson is immature and dangerous, while Jackson makes fun of Marshall for being too serious and boring. Their arguments bring non-stop comedy, especially when public speeches turn into insults and fancy diplomatic dinners end in food fights or fistfights. But their mission isn't just about appearances. Behind the curtains, a powerful enemy is moving. A group of corrupt politicians and foreign operatives are planning a global war, using America's political instability to their advantage. The deeper Marshall and Jackson go, the more they realize that the real battlefield is not just outside the country, it's inside the system itself. As the story continues, the action gets wilder. A press rally turns into a car chase, a peace meeting explodes into a gunfight, and a political parade becomes a full-scale battle. Jackson's reckless bravery often ruins the plan but saves lives, while Marshall's discipline slowly keeps Jackson focused. Eventually, they discover the shocking truth. One of the nation's top political leaders is secretly working with the enemy. The betrayal shakes them, but it also forces them to finally trust each other. They realize that only by combining Jackson's fearless instincts with Marshall's military strategy can they survive. The final showdown happens on the biggest stage of all, an international summit where world leaders are gathered. The villains launch a massive attack, planning to start World War III. With the whole world watching, Marshall and Jackson fight side by side, turning chaos into victory. Explosions, gunfights, and last-minute heroics bring the mission to its peak. In the end, they save the country, stop the war, and expose the traitors. Marshall earns new respect for Jackson's courage, and Jackson admits that sometimes discipline and strategy are just as important as guts. The two men, once enemies, walk away as unlikely partners, proving that true leadership doesn't come from politics, but from bravery and teamwork. Heads of State delivers a mix of explosive action, laugh-out-loud comedy, and an inspiring message about unity. It's the kind of movie that makes you laugh, cheer, and hold your breath all at the same time. Imagine a soldier who lives by rules, and a troublemaker who breaks every rule, forced to protect an... If you're enjoying our videos, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and make sure to like and share as well. Now, let's continue with the video. nation on the edge of collapse. That's Heads of State, an explosive ride of politics, action, and comedy where two opposites must save the world together. The film begins in Washington, D.C., with America at its weakest point in years. A string of scandals has left the White House broken, the people divided, and enemies circling like vultures. The threat of global war is closer than ever. But instead of stability, chaos steps in. We first meet Marshal, Idris Elba, a former military hero, disciplined, fearless, and respected by his men. Marshal has always lived by the book: rules, order, and precision. He believes wars are won with strategy, not luck. Then comes Jackson, John Cena, loud, reckless, and unpredictable. He's the kind of man who charges into battle with no plan, no backup, and somehow comes out alive. People love his confidence, but his unpredictability makes him dangerous to work with. Both men are thrown into the same mission when a secret agency decides America needs strong figures to represent leadership. But instead of just being soldiers, they're pushed into the political spotlight. They must travel, speak to the public, shake hands with leaders, and give the image of stability, while secretly fighting threats behind the scenes. From the very first moment, sparks fly. Marshal hates Jackson's immaturity, and Jackson mocks Marshal's seriousness. Every meeting turns into an argument, every mission into a competition. The result? Non-stop comedy mixed with chaos. But soon, they realize their mission is bigger than just politics. A shadowy organization, supported by corrupt politicians inside the system, is planning to trigger World War III. Their strategy is to destabilize America's leadership, then use the chaos to take power. The story escalates fast. A press conference turns into a massive car chase when assassins strike. A political dinner in Europe explodes into a shootout, with Jackson throwing food and Marshal using plates as shields. A campaign rally nearly becomes a massacre when hidden enemies attack the crowd. Each time, Jackson's wild instincts and Marshal's discipline clash, but together, they somehow survive. Slowly, they begin to respect each other's strengths. As they uncover the conspiracy, the betrayal cuts deep. A powerful American leader, someone everyone trusted, is revealed to be secretly helping the enemy. This twist shakes Marshal, who believed in the system, and shocks Jackson, who never trusted it. For the first time, they truly unite, not just as reluctant partners, but as brothers in arms. The final act is the most explosive of all. At an international summit, where world leaders have gathered, the villains launch their master plan: bombings, assassins, and chaos designed to trigger war. The entire world is watching on live television. Marshal and Jackson fight side by side in a battle filled with car chases, gunfights, explosions, and hand-to-hand combat. Jackson's unpredictability throws enemies off guard, while Marshal's strategy keeps them alive. They combine brains and brawn to outsmart the enemy, and the final moments, with seconds left before disaster, they stop the traitor and expose the entire conspiracy. The villains are defeated, the summit is saved, and World War III is prevented. The movie ends with Marshal and Jackson finally respecting each other. Marshal admits that sometimes rules aren't enough, you need guts. Jackson admits that discipline has its value. The two walk away as unlikely friends, now bonded for life. Fire Heads of State isn't just an action comedy. It's a story of trust, leadership, and how two completely different men can save the world when they learn to fight together. With laughter, explosions, and a powerful message, it's the perfect mix of chaos and heart.